Hello and welcome to Take Me Back to the 90s podcast. Today I am excited to bring you a very special guest, Kabir Sadanand, a multifaceted actor and director whose work has left a lasting mark on Indian television and cinema. In the 90s, Kabir became a household name through his memorable roles in TV shows like Family No. 1 and Shagun, where his on-screen charm and versatility won over audiences across the country. Kabir has also made his mark as a director, helming notable projects such as Popcorn Khao Mast Ho Jao Fagli and Tum Milo To Sahi. Most recently, he can be seen in a cameo role in the film Dispatch. Stay tuned as we revisit the golden era of 90s with Kabir Sadanand, diving into his journey, memories, and the stories behind his celebrated career in Indian entertainment.
First of all, thank you for joining in. I'll start from the beginning. Through my research, I came to know that you come from an Air Force family. Your father was a pilot in Indian Air Force. First of all, what an incredible legacy. But entering film and television industry must have been a completely different path. How did you get started in this field?
Okay, so I've always been acting. When I was in school, I was acting. I used to tell stories, and my English teacher, if I remember rightly, she once told me, she says that, you should be an actor. And initially I said, no, I don't. I want to join the Air Force. I want to do what my father does and all that. But then I started doing plays and I started enjoying them. And then I was in every play over there in school. And then I started doing professional theater. Professional in the sense, there were shows organized in Delhi, which were theater festivals and all. I started doing them. And some way or the other, I enjoyed it. But then when I told my father, I want to be an actor, and not that he ever controlled me in what I wanted to do, but he said, maybe you should get a profession. And I said, okay. And then suddenly after school, I think I became this guy who really wanted to educate himself. Till school, I wasn't bothered. I was only playing games, sports and stuff. I think after school is when I realized that I should get serious in college. And I really started studying. So there was this transformation of a guy who never ever studied to a guy who was always studying. It just changed me completely. I stopped theater, stopped everything. I got into, I love plants and saying agriculture. So I got myself educated in organic sciences and biodynamic agriculture. I started working on a plantation. And then I ended up doing one play. And that play, when I got onto the stage, I suddenly realized, oh my God, this is what I enjoy doing. What am I doing? So I dropped my job, dropped everything, came back to India, and came to Bombay with all my savings. And I said, I'm going to pursue a career in acting. And it wasn't easy. First of all, everyone said light eyes, fair guy, brownish hair, will never work. That's what they told me. But I tried, I kept trying. I started doing odd jobs, lifting lights, becoming an assistant cameraman, pulling focus, all that. And all that I had saved in all those years, it all finished. And I still remember at that point in time, I think my first wife is very supportive. And she said that if this is your dream, this is what you should do. And I respect her for that. And so I continued. And I remember my break point happened is I was left with my last 25 rupees in my pocket. And I was called for an audition to Mud Island in Bombay by Ravi Rai. And he was doing big shows at that time in the 90s. He was phenomenal. Ravi and Anand, I have a great regard for Ravi for his writing. And they were going to cast for a show called Sparsh, which was on Sony. And I had 25 rupees, so I got dressed properly and all that. I got into a rickshaw and I went. I think the rickshaw guy took some 20 odd bucks. So I was left with $5. So they auditioned me I reached there at 8 o'clock in the morning. They auditioned me at about 9:30 or 10 at night. And because I was not from the industry, I didn't know how it works. So I didn't eat anything. I was hungry. And I still remember, and God bless Rita Bhaduri, she saw me sitting alone and she said, I'm going to make an omelette for you. That's the only thing I ate. So at night, I finished the audition, and Anand Rai took the audition, and he said, "Oh, you're a good actor." Even the cameraman came and told me, "Well, sir, tu to actor अच्छा है." And I was very thrilled with myself. And I was not a name. I was just the shirt color I was wearing. So they kept saying, "Neela shirt, yahan ja, Neela shirt, wahan baith gaya, Neela shirt, ye kar lo." I didn't have a name. So after I finished my audition, I remember Behal Saab coming and saying, "Aapka naam kya hai?" And then he started calling me by my name. So till then, I was just a blue object. This all happened. I was on a high. I came out and I was hungry. I was hungry as ravenous, actually. And there was a vada pav guy there. So I ate a vada pav. It cost $3 or something. And I was left with 2 rupees. Now I said, I can't go back to auto rickshaw. I don't have the money to pay for it. So I had 2 rupees. So these light men were going from there. And I said, "Aap log kahan ja rahe hain?" So they said that hum jetty tak ja rahe hain. So I said, "आप मेरे को राइड दोगे?" तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम ऑटो रिक्शा शेयर करते हैं, यहाँ से हम 5-6 लोग जाएंगे तो 2 रुपए बनेगा तक. That was the last 2 rupees I had. So I said, okay, I'll give it, take a chance. So I got to the jetty and I had no money left with me. So I went to the jetty guy, and that time I think the ticket was 75 peso or something like that. I took off my watch and I gave it to him. He says, "See, keep this watch, just get me across." And he said, "Keep your watch." No, I said, "मैं कल आके आपको पैसे दे दूंगा, promise." And I got across the jetty. I sat on the Versova beach and I cried. And I said, "What have you done to yourself? This is not done." I got home, I think, at about 4 o'clock in the morning after I was done with all my crying and all that. And I saw there were a lot of messages on the answering machine. So I pressed the answering machine. That time it used to be answering machines. And there were some 20 messages from Sanjay and Binay Fakoli, the producers for Family Number One. And Kavaljeet had messaged me, and I had done a role in a series called The Rar also. So all of it happened at one time. So Kavaljeet said, Lake Tandon wants to meet you to do the Rar that same night. And I had these messages from Family Number One. You audition with us and we want to start work with you. From that day, for 17 years, no, sorry, for 19, for 14 years, I worked 18 hours a day.
Would you like to share any funny behind the scene memories from show Family Number One? And how was your experience working with such diverse ensemble cast?
Okay, Family Number One was a joyride. Okay, I really pity Samir Kulkarni because he had Kawaljeet, who's a prankster. He had me. He had Guddu, who's a younger guy, and again a prankster. And he had Ajay Nagarat. The rest of them were sweet guys. Huh? The rest of them were all innocent people when they came. Not when they left, they were not innocent anymore. And I still remember I had forgotten to get my shirt. I had worn the shirt the night before and gone home, and the scene was there, and I was supposed to wear that shirt. So I called up my friend. I said, "Can you get me the shirt?" Now, the only way to delay the shoot, I couldn't tell them that I had forgotten my shirt. So I told Samir, "Haan, my shirt." I went to Guttu, and I told him, I said, Vishal is his name. I said, "तू ये पेड़ चढ़ सकता है?" So he says, "हाँ मैं चढ़ सकता हूँ." मैं कहा, "तू नहीं चढ़ सकता." So I made him climb up this gulmohar tree right till the top. And I told him, "You will sit there until I tell you to come down." And everyone was looking all over the place. And I was saying, "हाँ हाँ, I'm ready for the scene. I'm ready for the scene." Shirt का पहनेगा, मैं पहनूंगा, short पे पहनता हूँ, short पे पहनता हूँ. And everyone is looking for Guttu all over the place. And I told Guttu, "You have to keep quiet. If anyone calls you also, you're not supposed to respond." So he didn't. And then he started enjoying it. So everyone on that set was looking for Vishal, and he was nowhere to be found. And he only came down when my shirt arrived. So yeah, so we've done some stupid things. We have done some really stupid things on that set. I remember whacking Umesh by mistake on the head. So we had this whole scene where I had to have a flower vase in my hand, and I'm supposed to knock him on the head with it. I told him, "You go down." He came up. I knocked him on the head, and I still remember telling the cameraman, I said, "You keep rolling, shoot him. He's really hurt." So we did some stupid stuff. It was magical. Aparna, Niyati, Tanvi. Tanvi was a serious one amongst us, but the rest of us, I think Ajay Nagrat and I also got along a big deal. I introduced him to heavy metal music, and he still texts me and says, "God, you changed my life when you introduced me to heavy metal." So yeah, so it was magical. I really miss those days. We used to shoot about 18 days a month, all of us together. It was like one family. We didn't have very many makeup rooms at that point of time, like how it is now. So Kavaljit had his, Tanvi had hers, and all the brats were in one room. So it was a lot of fun.
Family Number One aired on Sony from 1998 to 1999. Am
No,
I
no,
right?
no, no longer than that.
Longer than
I,
that?
we did 106 episodes with 4 episodes a month.
So it has been more than 23, 22 years now, and
Yeah.
it's still loved and remembered. What was the charm of those 90s shows? Why people still cherish and enjoy those shows?
मानना है कि ना कि क्या था, एक एरा शिफ्ट हो रहा था उस समय. आपका एक एरा था कि ऑफ वेरी लाउड सिनेमा. उससे पहले वो टिपिकल एंग्री यंग मैन, ये वो सब कुछ था. And then Family Number One came, and Hum Panch came around about the same time, I think, or Hum Panch came a little earlier than us. And so उससे पहले नुक्कड़ था जो सबको पसंद था, बहुत ही पसंद था सबको. एंड आई थिंक फैमिली नंबर वन व्हाई इट वर्क इज बिकॉज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, एक तो ये सारे कैरेक्टर्स जो थे ना, रघुवीर शेखावत ने बहुत अच्छे लिखे थे, एंड संजय बिनायफर ऑल्सो. सो दे वर रिलेटेबल कैरेक्टर्स. ऐसे लोग थे उस जमाने में जो ऐसे. प्लस अगर आप देखो, द एक्टिंग एट दैट टाइम वाज वेरी फ्री फ्लोइंग. वो बनावटी नहीं था. हाँ, बंदर की तरह मैं कूदते रहता था उस समय, heavily influenced by Jim Carrey, I guess. But I think why people liked those shows at that point of time was because it was relatable. When times shifted, now there's not very many good comedies. There's one Ulta Chashma, something which comes on Sony, but it's slapstick humor. It's that real humor. I think somewhere or the other is dead.
You portrayed such variety of characters. In Dhadkan, it was a medical drama. You played Dr. Rehan.
Yes.
There was a show called Shagun. You were a main lead in that show. Family Number One, a funny character, Rahul. You portrayed various characters. Which character is most close to your heart?
Each show gave me something else altogether. Shagun was an overly dramatic show, but it allowed me the opportunity of underplaying a character. Initially, I was very loud. When I saw some of the scenes of mine recently, I said, like, "Oh my God, was that me?" I was terrible. And but then I think because I did it for so long, I think we did some 1,000 episodes or more than that. It was on forever. And 5 years or 6 years or something like that sort. It was on forever. If you ask me, for me, it was a whole school. So I started as this dramatic, over-the-top bad actor. And then I kept growing. I don't say I'm a good actor now, but I graduated to become a little more mature as an actor, and I started underplaying stuff. So it was a school for me. And then I had some very good directors who I worked with at that time. Sachin Koth was there, Sunil Prasad was there, and they became friends. In fact, Sunil's son has been working with me for the last 20 years. He's become like family to me. He joined me as an assistant, and now he's a director in the company. So I have made some very strong relationships over the years through these shows. So if you ask me one particular role, yes, if the most moving scene in my life, for which really made me feel that I would remember it, I think was Dhadkan. And Rohit Khanna was shooting the sequence, and when I am operating on my father and my father is dying, and I'm supposed to, I convince him to donate his organs, and I am supposed to operate on him and pull the plug. And I remember I finished the scene. It makes me overwhelmed even now. And I finished it, and I was crying and stuff, and I didn't hear cut. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, there was no cut. And then I walked up to Rohit, and he was in tears. I said, Rohit, you're supposed to say cut. And he says, shit. He wiped his face. He says, I got so involved in the scene. I'm sorry. Cut. I think that scene has remained with me always. It was special. It was very special. Yeah.
As you're aware that many 90s shows are being remade now, like Tenali Rama, Vagle Ki Duniya. What do you think about this trend? Do you think Family Number One can be remade today? And
it definitely should be remade. I'm telling you, it not should be remade. There should be a
one more
sequel to
thing,
it.
what aspects would you want to keep the same, and what changes would you make to the show?
I would just take the characters where they are today, where they were, and you see them 20 years later, where they are in life, but they're similar in their mindsets. They're similar in the way they process things. They're similar in the way they deal with stuff. I think it'll be phenomenal. So if you have my character, I should be a failed villain. If you have Ajay Nagarath should be a halwai. Aparna should be a makeup artist. Niyati should be a local MLA. Gattu, which is Vishal, he should be the only one who's working and supporting all of us and running the family. So I think it'll be great fun. In fact, we guys did a pilot, and I really it was years ago when we did a pilot for Family Number One for the second. They wanted to start it all over again, and oh my God, it was monstrous. Just be all of us just coming back again. It was like magical. And I remember Samir saying, "You guys stop it. You're much older now. Behave your age." But everyone went back to who they were. And we had a ball. Kuku, that's Kawaljit, I love him. He's absolutely phenomenal. And he was the leader of the pack for all the pranks.
Let's talk about the film called RHTDM, Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein, where you played a supporting character. It's one of my personal favorites. What are your memories from that film?
I did the film only because I wanted to work with Gautam Menon and Vashuji. It was a small part. I still remember Vashuji said, "Do the film. I will give you introducing Kabir." If you see the title, it says introducing Kabir Sadanand. And I did it. It was just for the love of working with those people. And it was great fun. I was working with Rajesh, Siddharth, Maddie, Dia. It was Dia's first film. Again, it was like either Tanaz was there. It was Ravi was there from Bangalore. It was good fun. It was great fun shooting that film. We were a riot. So Raju and I came really close when we shot that film. And actually all of us, Raju, Siddharth, Ravi, we're still in touch with each other. Raju and I a lot more. But yeah, it was great fun. And it had some phenomenal music. I remember when I was told, I said, I don't want to do a supporting role. I don't want to do it that time. And I heard the music. And I said, I want to do this film, whatever the part be. So I have not bothered about being a supporting cast or the main lead or anything. For me, the most important thing is if I enjoy being there, it matters to me. So I have done a lot of films where I've done like bits, and I have a lot of films which I've said no to, which have got very big roles. But maybe because I was not convinced of being a part of it. Like right now, Dispatch is releasing on the 13th of December with Manoj. I wanted to work with Manoj. I've always wanted, and Kannu Behel. So when they offered me, and I was coming back, I did Class. You got a Best Actor nomination. You got a Best Actor award for Class, and so I said, okay, now this time I should take my profession seriously and do stuff which will challenge me. So when they came to me with the scene for Dispatch, I was like, oh my God, it's It's a small bit. I don't want to do it. And then I spoke to Manoj and he said, "तूने पूरा सुना है क्या?" मैं कहा नहीं. He said, "सुन ले." And then I spoke to Kannu and I was convinced. And I saw the film. I was very nervous because I had not seen a single frame of that film while we were shooting it. And I saw the film at the festival. And I'm glad I did the film.
Kabir, you started your career as an actor, and then you moved to direction. You made movies like Popcorn Khao Mast Ho Jao, Fugly.
It was a disaster. Popcorn was a disaster.
I'm not lying. I love that movie.
Actually,
Popcorn Khao.
it's so strange. I have got people now. Maybe actually Dimple Kapadia gave me the right explanation to it. She says your film was way ahead of its time. And I see people now, they understand the humor now. They say, "Oh, that scene was so funny." They understand the humor now. Maybe that time they were not ready for that humor.
It was a phenomenal movie, definitely. Popcorn Khao Mast Ho Jao, Fugly, and you've made various web series. What inspired you to shift from, acting?
I'll tell you, I was shooting for Chameli and I met Rongita Nandi and I met Pritish Nandi. And I was already writing stuff for myself. It's not that I was bored of acting, but sometimes, you're working with directors and you say, "Yeah, maza nahi aa raha." And I felt that. I said that I want to be on a set where my actors are happy in this. I challenge them. I think that's what pushed me to. And then I narrated the idea of Popcorn to Pritish, and Pritish said, "Oh, it's way ahead of its time. It's very good." And I think 2 months later, we won floors, or 3 months later with the film. So I was lucky. I think a film that stays with my heart is Tum Milo to Say, where I worked with Nana, Dimple, Sunil, Vidya, Rehan, Anjana, again, Rajesh, my compulsory blind in every product that I do, Amit Behel. For me, was a comeback of sorts because everyone criticized Popcorn. I got terrible reviews. I put the reviews on my board and then I made Tum Milo to Say and I got some fantastic reviews. The film still on YouTube has got some 180 million views or something. And I read the comments over there and they say, "Oh my God, it's such a lovely film, this, that." At that point in time, there were some journalists who really, really pulled me down. And maybe because I was an actor who turned a director at that point in time, they screwed me over. But the proof in the pudding is when people still watch clips from the film, watch the film even today, it's like for me to say, see the middle finger.
You moved to making web series very early. So was it intentional?
We were the first few who, I'll tell you what happened. Everyone was doing television and television had dramatically changed. It had become this over the top. I remember doing a scene in one series. Oh my God. And the guy said, "Hold." I was saying, I had a long monologue and he suddenly in between said, I took a pause and he said, "Hold." And I saw the camera swinging all over the place, from behind me, from under me, from over me. And I stopped and I said, "क्या कर रहे हैं आप लोग यार?" नहीं हम हम ट्रीटमेंट कर रहे हैं. I said, "आप ट्रीटमेंट करो, मेरे को करने दो ना, मेरे को ट्रीटमेंट, मैं एक्टिंग करके दे रहा हूँ ना आपको, ये सब आपको करने की क्या जरूरत." I think at that point in time I said, "Boss, we need to make something content which is real," and we made Married Woman Diaries on Sony Live. It was a huge hit. It was a huge hit. And then I met Ajay Raval, who has become a very close friend now. And I told him I want to make Virgin Woman Diaries. No one is talking about how a woman feels about stuff. And though the title might be Virgin Woman Diaries, but it's about a woman's perspective to life. That became a hit again. And we finished 2 seasons of it. We've shot the 3rd season now. So it's been 8 years now for Virgin Woman Diaries. We were the first ones to shoot on the vertical format and horizontal format. So we did that way before it started in America, where they said, okay, on phones, how are people going to watch? So I was sitting with my team with Deepak and I said, "Deepak, let's shoot vertical." So he said, "Why would you want to do that?" I said, "Because people watch it on the phone. They're going to have to always turn it around. Let's shoot it this way." So we shot it vertical and horizontal also. We brought songs into web series. So we kept trying to evolve and do new stuff. Yeah, so that's how web work started. And we enjoyed it. We still enjoy it.
And if you compare experience of 90s and today's television, how much do you think things has changed, and how has television and film industry changed since 90s?
1 second, wait. Are you watching television nowadays? Are those even stories? It's phenomenal how everything is about kitchen politics. It's not television. It's not television. Sorry, it's crap.
But working during that era, if you can, compare that.
So if you ask me as actors, television still has very bad actors. They like me, they get groomed and become better. But in films, I feel the quality of actors has improved hundredfold. Hundredfold. People are professional. They know what they work on their characters. They work on what they're doing. Earlier तो ये था कि हाँ लाइनें बोलनी है ना, तो वो लाइनें बोलने वाले एक्टर बहुत हैं आपको टेलीविजन में तो भरे हुए हैं, मतलब आप एक को पत्थर मारने जाओगे 100 को पत्थर लगेंगे. They all bad actors. Sorry. And they all pretend as if they're stars for just that long, but they're not actors. But films, yeah, today, like Kriti Sanon, I remember Dimple Kabade telling me, "Oh my God, she works so hard on her character. She's extremely hardworking." I worked with Kiara. I launched her. Extremely hardworking as an actress, and she deserves what she's getting. Because she's worked really, really hard on her character, on herself, on her being, how she presents herself. So the today's actor is far more professional.
What one thing do you miss most about the 90s TV era?
Good content, good writing, like Ravi used to write, Lekji used to write. It was good content. There are no stories now. It's all about kitchen politics. It's all about there's always one bad daughter-in-law, or there's a bad wife, and she's making everyone's life terrible. And then आपकी जो हीरोइन होती है, यही एक ही कहानी है. वो एक हीरोइन होती है, उसको वो सताते रहते हैं, वो रोती रहती है, टीआरपी बढ़ते रहते हैं, और it's crap.
As you are a director, producer, will you make any content which is similar to 90s?
See, in all the stuff that I do, I try and bring back the element of substance in stories. That's why if you see Tummilu to say 20 years or 15 years later, it still has a resonance. You see Popcorn, like you said, it still has a resonance. You see Fugly, it'll have a resonance. Fugly on online, you see the number of views. It was in theaters for about 3.5, 4 months, I think, in Delhi for longer. There's a resonance with it. So it's about bringing characters. And I remember Anand Rai telling me that, I envy you because you make stuff which you feel you want to make. You don't make stuff which is supposed to be popular. So वो फिल्में उस समय शायद इतना नहीं कमाया उन फिल्मों ने. Fugly earned a lot of money, but Tummilu to say it released at the wrong time. But the proof in the pudding is if years later, when it releases on OTT and everyone suddenly starts calling you and saying, "Oh my God, I watched the film, it's such a good film," it gives you a lot of happiness. So I turn back to all the journalists at that point in time who had pulled me down on it, and I look at them and I smile and I say, "What is it that you're remembered for today?" Nothing. We're remembered for what we did then, which you called rubbish, which is actually still resonating with people years later. So I think that's a victory.
So, Kabir, could you share any upcoming projects that you're working on next?
On the 13th of December, there's a small bit I'm doing in a very big film. Big film itself, the content is called Dispatch. It's coming on Z5. There are 3 films that we have written and ready, one of which should go on floor soon. It's a comic thriller, which we're doing. Then there's one more, which is a thriller, again a comic thriller actually. Shit, am I only writing comic thrillers? And then there's so there are lots of I've finished how many films have I finished writing now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 films, and a horror also. So moving to Goa helped me find my soul in writing, and I have immersed myself in doing that. I'm picking up projects which I enjoy doing. मैं वो वाली बातें नहीं करूंगा कि I don't want to talk about a project. जिसका project नहीं हो तो वो यही बोलता है मेरे पास. I can't disclose it right now. That's nonsense. Either you have a project or you don't have a project. So I've just been a little picky on what I want to do, and I'm happy. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Uh, I want to do stuff which I enjoy doing. वो कहते हैं ना, आदमी को जब मोक्ष मिल जाता है उसको कहीं ना कहीं वो काम हो जाता है उसको. सिर्फ मैं फिल्में नहीं करना चाहता सिर्फ पैसे कमाने के लिए. मैं वो एंजॉय करना है. आई वांट टू एंजॉय द प्रोसेस. आई वांट टू वर्क विद गुड डायरेक्टर्स. आई वांट टू वर्क विद नीरज. आई वांट टू वर्क विद आनंद. आई वांट टू वर्क विद Kannu again. I want to work with people who are passionate about what they're doing.
Thank you so much for joining us today and making this so special. I hope you continue to entertain us, inspire us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I'll just give one message to all upcoming actors or people who are aspiring to become actors in India or otherwise also. If you're passionate about what you're going to do, and if you really, really enjoy being on stage, or you have to have a lot of patience. And the other thing is you really need to work hard. There's lots of competition over there. Don't take it for granted. Some people are born actors, they're natural. You can keep improving yourself. Don't think, I'm done. You're never done. It's always learning.
Golden words, sir. Golden words. Thank you so much.
I'm not knighted. My name is Kabir. So you can call me Kabir.
Thank you, Kabir. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining in.
Lovely speaking with you.